Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
Great start to your day. We are expecting a pretty exciting event this weekend down in Montcalm. It's the second annual Man Cave Sports Card Show, and to talk a little bit more about that event, we are now being joined by Nate Smith and Dan Bazum, the owner and operations manager for Man Cave Sports Cards. Gentlemen, how are you both doing today?
Real good. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to see you.
Yeah, no, thankfully we were able to work something out, get you guys on the live desk. Very exciting event. But before we start talking about that, I do want to talk about Man Cave Sports Cards. It's a very interesting business. I'm very intrigued by the sports card trading world. It's really seen quite a resurgence over the past couple of years, specifically with social media and unboxing of all these cards. How did you two get started in the trading card business?
I was a collector, just kind of messing around with it, and ended up buying a building in downtown Stanton that had a little retail spot that I talked to my wife and said, hey, can we just see what happens and try to make this thing work? And I opened, and Dan was actually my second customer, and just came in, and we developed a relationship, and he ended up joining the team, and we became, he started selling stuff in the shop and kind of took over, and kind of just been good since then. So that was June 2020, and now he's our our operations manager. He teaches on the side, and then he's operations manager for us full time. So
yeah, so my sports card journey began probably like a lot of people, just with starting as a young kid collecting. Got out of it a little bit in college, started to get back into it with my kids, and around the time when he opened with the pandemic, like he said, I was the second customer through the door, and he and I developed a really fast friendship. It's been really seamless transition, and I'm a full-time teacher, but I do this. I definitely do this on the side, and there's no better second job in America. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you both started this operation during the pandemic. What was that like? Just kind of dealing with something that most people have never dealt with before, in their lives, and then also trying to start a business.
it was crazy. I mean, people were scared to come out, and so we really started focusing on our eBay operation and got that up and running. And the card shows were still going, which was crazy. I mean, there would be 200, 300, 400 people jammed into a little building, everybody wearing masks, elbow to elbow, buying and selling cards. And it was just chaos. I mean, there was people coming in every day and wanting to buy and add to their collection and sell stuff. And that was like, really, I believe the pandemic was the height of collecting for the hobby as a whole, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember going to shows with Nate, and I mean, we would have lines out the door because with the limitations on how many people could gather in a certain area. And then I remember also, like, we're kind of known for our dollar boxes. We call them our fire boxes, like our $1, $3 cheaper cards. And I remember literally leaving shows, and I would like turn the box over, and it was completely empty because we'd sell out of entire boxes while we were there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, grew up maybe collecting cards or had some sort of hobby kind of like that, but maybe it has went away as everybody got older. But we have seen that resurgence, and as you mentioned, even during the pandemic, that was maybe the height of everybody trying to collect these cards. Why do you think that resurgence happened? Do you think the pandemic maybe played a role in that, or do you think it's really just the way cards are manufactured now? Maybe they're easier to get, or businesses like yours that provide a service like that?
I'll speak to that. I think a lot of it was people were at home and were getting bored, going through their basement, through their attic, and finding old collections. We had people come in that said they hadn't seen their collection in 20, 30 years, and they were just at home bored and started digging through it and said, oh man, they started looking up prices and said, man, can we sell this? And we just started cashing people out. I think that had a lot to do with people who were just home all day, not anything else to do, and just started digging through old stuff. I don't know how you feel about that. But.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I think that's absolutely true, and I think part of it's generational too. I mean, Nate and I grew up in the junk wax era, of the 80s and early 90s, where things weren't worth much, but we wanted to collect it. He wanted his 1987 Mark McGuire. I wanted my 1990s Michael Jordans. And now we've got kids, and we've got expendable income where we can go out and buy some of those things that maybe we couldn't afford when we were 10, 12 years old. So I think that's part of it too. And we really see a lot of generational collecting. A lot of fathers and sons, or just that second generation of collectors we're really starting to see.
Right. Yeah. No, I think being able to spread that sort of enjoyment for an activity or a hobby like collecting cards with your father or your son or, daughter, children, whatever, I think that is obviously a very special thing. But now, gentlemen, let's switch gears a little bit to the show itself. Again, it is this Saturday down at Central Montcalm High School from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. What can people expect when they decide to come on down to the show this weekend?
I mean, they can expect a packed house. We've got 80 plus tables right now that we're going to fit in there. We actually have held back. The show itself could be larger. I think I've got a wait list of about 15 or so dealers. Nate and I kind of mutually made the decision of, hey, we want to make sure that we take care of the dealers that we have there. We don't want it to get too crazy or too big too fast. So it should be great for if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, if you're a collector, if you're an investor. Whether you do this as a secondary business like we do, it's just really going to be, I think, a fun place to be in the hobby tomorrow, judging off last year for sure.
Yeah, and there's 3 different who is half owner of the shop. He'll be there signing from 11 to 2. It's just going to be fun. There'll be a food truck out front, and just expect, a lot of good deals, and it's just going to be a really good time. Kids, adults, whoever, come on out and have some fun.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, and you mentioned that former NBA All-Star Chris Kaman will be there. He is a part owner of Man Cave Sports Cards. Talk a little bit about that partnership you guys had. How did he sort of get involved? Obviously, he's a big name for NBA fans. They recognize the name Chris Kaman.
So last September, he brought his son into our shop in Stanton, was looking for Pokemon and just anything he could find, because he likes to collect Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and stuff like that, people that he's familiar with. And he came in and started spending some money, and we kind of hit off a relationship. And he just said, just through a month or two of talking, and he said he definitely had some interest in joining the team and trying to figure out what that would look like. And I think October 1st, he became a full 50% partner, and we decided to open Greenville, and we opened Greenville in November and have been going ever since. It's fun because he brings a lot of just a different level to a card shop. he was an NBA All-Star, played in the league for 12 or 13 years, and when you say his name, people know who that is, and it's just a whole nother level of bringing people into the shop as well.
Mm-hmm. And I guess kind of piggybacking off that, having this big name at the store, or at the card show this weekend, it's obviously going to attract a lot more people just off name recognition alone. But can you talk about what maybe the other things that are new this year compared to the first card show that happened last year? Anything exciting besides the name of Chris Kaman showing up?
We've got one of our other signers going to be Bobby Wilson, who is actually being brought in by one of our vendors, Matt Dickinson. Matt's done a great job of helping us get signers over the last couple of years. So Bobby's a Super Bowl champion with the Redskins. He's also a former MSU Spartan, so that's near and dear to my heart, being a Spartan alum. I know not everybody's a Spartan, but hey, that's the fun of the card business. You get to talk trash with your friends. And then we also have James Moore, former MSU Spartan and Rose Bowl champion. I mentioned we're going to have a barbecue truck, a local guy here, CBP Smoke. I can tell you, we've had him for some of our trade nights and shop.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
It's phenomenal food. And like I said, it's just growing. The show last year was around 50 tables. This year we've got 80 plus. And I've been fielding phone calls all week, people wanting to get on our wait list. So I expect it to be very, very busy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, okay. And guys, I really do appreciate you coming on the live desk today. You've done a great job really talking about not only Man Cave Sports Cards, but also the show that's coming up this weekend down in Montcalm. I do want to give you guys the floor now, though, and make your final pitch out to the people. Really, why should people show up to Central Montcalm High School this weekend and enjoy the Man Cave Sports Card Show?
For me, it's going to be the place to be in the state of Michigan if you like sports cards and memorabilia. The best part for me about the whole collecting community is just the community feel of everything. I've got so many friends that are now lifelong friends that I've met through the hobby, and I think you'll see that at the show. You'll see friendly dealers, you'll see good deals, you'll see a variety of different, sports cards and pieces of memorabilia. And so I encourage people to come on out. We're a small little town, but we've got ample parking. It's all free parking, and so we'd definitely love to see a big crowd.
Yeah, I would just 100% agree with that. We got three big time signers, barbecue. The place is going to be packed. It's going to be a good time, and there'd be really good deals. And the biggest thing is it's kid friendly too. Bring your kids,
Absolutely.
let them run around and open some packs or whatever, and just come have a good family friendly time. So we're super excited about it.
All right, fantastic stuff. Dan and Nate, thank you both so much for coming on the Wood TV Live Desk today. We really do appreciate it. I do want to remind everybody before we go that you can find all the information you need about the Man Cave Sports Card Show down at Central Montcalm High School this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the information you need is over on our website, woodtv.com right now. Dan and Nate, thank you so much for showing up today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Of course, and I want to thank everybody else for tuning in to this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.